Before we write any code, I want to give you a technical overview of the project. The app itself is inspired by social blogging platforms like DEV.to and Medium. I chose an app like this for the demo because it provides a wide variety of challenges. We need content that is search engine friendly, which means it needs to be rendered on the server, but it also needs to be dynamic and highly interactive. Let's take a minute to go through each page or screen in the app and talk about the technical aspects of its features. First, we have the main homepage. And on the homepage, you'll notice we have a feed of the latest posts. If our app is popular, the content on this page will likely change multiple times per day, and we'll want this content to be search engine friendly. Now, when working with the Firestore database, you typically want to limit the total number of reads that you execute, because that will save you money and also make your app faster. On the homepage, we'll use full server-side rendering to grab the 10 most recent posts from the database. That will ensure the page is search engine friendly, with bots being able to crawl that content. However, an end user may want to load additional posts beyond the most recent 10. To handle that, we'll then use the Firebase SDK on the client side to load additional posts when the user clicks this button. So you'll learn how to implement basic pagination on this page. One caveat is that the data here will not listen to real-time updates in Firestore, but on other pages, we will transition from server-rendered content to fully real-time data from Firestore. And that brings up a good point, because one of the main things I want to teach you in this course is how to decide whether or not to server render content, and also determine whether or not you need to hydrate that content on the client side. Now let's move into the enter route, which is our sign in, sign up page. When the user lands on this page and is not authenticated, they'll see a prompt to log in with Google. The user logs in by clicking a button, but after that, they're then prompted to select a username. Having a custom username is important in an app like this because we'll route to a user's profile based on their username, as well as any post they write will be nested under their username. Custom usernames add quite a bit of complexity to an app like this, but I think it's a very important feature and one that is commonly requested by Firebase users. Now, once a user signs up, they'll have a public user profile that they can navigate to by going to their username. Now, this particular route will be fully server-side rendered. That means every time it's requested, it will be generated on the server and then returned back down to the client. The reason I set this route up with server-side rendering is mostly just to show you a variety of different techniques in Next. It could also be done with pre-rendering, but since we're doing that on other pages, you'll learn how to do full server-side rendering when we build the user profile. Now on the user profile, you'll see a list of posts that user has authored. When you navigate to one, it'll go to the title or slug of that post nested under the username. When you navigate to a public post, it'll initially be pre-rendered content. Then after hydrating or fetching the same data from Firestore, it'll be fully interactive and listen to real-time updates. If the content changes on the server, it will automatically be reflected here on the client side. Now that might sound highly inefficient because we're fetching the same data twice, but it's actually not bad at all because of an awesome feature in Next called incremental static regeneration. We'll look at it more later, but basically it allows us to pre-render this page automatically on the server within a set interval, say every 5 minutes. So at the very worst, we're only executing a duplicate read every 5 minutes. In addition, we can click the heart button to like or dislike the post. And the heart button itself is a relatively complex feature that requires some careful consideration about data modeling and security because a user should only be able to heart a post once. So all the routes we've looked at so far are public facing, means you can view them without being authenticated. But if you want to heart a post or author your own post, you need to be logged in, and you manage all your data from the admin panel. When you go to the admin route, it'll be entirely client-side generated because there's really no point in rendering it on the server because a search engine or bot has no need to ever view this page. On the main page, it'll show you a list of posts that you've authored and also have a button for creating a new post. When you click on a post or create a new one, it will navigate you to the edit page for that post. On this page, we have a variety of features. First, we have a complex form that allows you to edit Markdown and change the state of the post to published or unpublished. You can write a post in Markdown and then view a preview of it by toggling the preview mode. In addition, you can upload files to Firebase storage, then it will give you the Markdown snippet to add that to your post, which is exactly how it works when you add an image on Dev.to. When you save a post, it will update the document in Firestore, and those changes will be reflected to anybody viewing that post throughout the entire application around the world. And that concludes our tour of the entire application. We'll look at each of these features in more detail as we get to those videos later in the course.